Hello everyone, Johnny Miner here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon Snap. Last time we started checking out the gallery on the title screen. We still have a lot of that, but we'll do so another time we start at the title screen, and like today, as we'll soon see. Then we finished checking out the hints for the Pokemon signs. And after that, we finally started replaying the courses to find the Pokemon signs. We started with the third course for a certain reason, which we'll see maybe even today, but we'll eventually see it. And yeah, we only replayed it. We didn't have the time for the camera check and Professor Ox check. So today we'll start with those. And yeah, without further ado, let's open the game. And yeah, I actually have to load here. And yeah, as you can see from the Rapidash, we replayed the third course, as mentioned. And yeah, we have the camera check to do. So we start with that. Okay. Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we'll choose a photo for Rapidash. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these will be better. We'll try this one, but yeah, doubt it also, considering that you can see other Rapidash in the background. And yeah, we have a sign. As you can see, it's the same writing we saw while playing the stage last time. The main role is Shirushi with the question mark, and yeah, so Shirushi, as we've seen, is the word for mark sign, should be unaccented. And then, of course, the question mark, because it isn't completely sure if it's a sign, but yeah, it is. Otherwise, it wouldn't show up like this. Yeah, unaccented. And yeah, as we can see, it has the shape of a coffin. In this case, it doesn't matter if it shows like this as a sign. It's perfect anyway. I'm just choosing which one I prefer. Well, let's go for the first one simply. Okay. We have some Vulpix. This one might be a better one, yeah, because we have more than one. Yeah, those are unfortunately too small, I think. I'll try this one, technically. Hopefully it counts for the technique. We have Magmar, unfortunately. Not any... We don't have a good picture, we'll choose this one. Charmander. Well, Charmander, of course, we go for another one of these with all the additional Charmanders. I fear that in this case it would be the one in front. That unfortunately isn't the best. We'll try with this one, even though I have some doubts. Yeah, we technically have a Charmeleon here, but yeah. This one seriously doubt the technique, so I try this one where it's down in falling down into the lava. That one I'd like to save also for the album. We have this one is technically big. Well, this is the biggest one, but there's part of Moltres cut, but okay, yeah, this one is technically better, I think. So we go for this one. But yeah, then we have this, and this is one of the... we didn't have much time for the check last time anyway, but yeah, even more so considering this, that we got a new Pokemon, actually two. We got pretty lucky, since I'm pretty sure that it's actually random which ones show when you throw the pester balls into the craters. But yeah, this one is Growlithe. In Japanese, simply Gadi. From technically like this, with also that D at the end, from Guardian. But yeah, also could be simply a sterilization of guard, and then because of course of guard dog. But yeah, if I search for Guardian in the dictionary, I should find it, and well, of course, apart from the Chinese, Japanese words, more often than not, I'd say in this case, Chinese compounds, the most common one for guardian, protector, more in the sense of also patron, parent, is Hogosha, Sentinel of the Go. But yeah, this one from Guardian, from English. Yeah, it would be written exactly like this, of course, without the an at the end. By the way, that one is accent. No, unfortunately, I can't find the accent here. I'll quickly check the physical dictionary. Got the physical dictionary, actually already got both in this case. This one we are looking into the one I use for words, but I have the other one in case we find some numeral plus counters combinations. But yeah, let's search for Guardian. Let's see, we need a long A, of course, like in this, as we can see. And then the... unfortunately, it isn't present in the dictionary. But yeah, in this case, I'd say more likely than not, like in English. So, on the Ga, on the first A, Guardian. Let's choose one. Not particularly great in general. We try this one. I'll actually try this one where it's you can barely see it, but it's getting rid of the fire, the ashes in the top. Yeah, then we have, of course, it's also its evolution, and this is where we got lucky that we got both at the same time. We got Arcanine. Well, I don't even without checking it, it's literally in Japanese windy. So yeah, from wind, and yeah, wind as in adding windy from English. Doubt we find it in the dictionary. Yeah, even in the online dictionary it finds it as Arcanine's Japanese name. But yeah, so simply from English. Yeah, I'd keep the accent like in English in this case. But yeah, let's choose one. Again, while it's doing that, also just like Growlithe. Last but not least, we have a Charizard. Let's choose one. Fortunately, not no flames this time. And technically from the size, so yeah, I have doubts. But yeah, so we can... well, I'll choose... I'll save this one in the album just for fun. Yeah, we can go to the Professor Oak for the check. Yoshi as usual. From our protagonist, the exclamation. Yeah, this one I have serious doubts. Well, technically better size. So also doubling, we might get more points considering that. But yeah, we don't. Yeah, there's technically a little of an extra Rapidash, but like that we actually got a better total. So yeah, actually we automatically keep that, and yeah, we got a better score. So nice that. Then we have Vulpix. Yeah, not great size. It says in Japanese in the middle the writing Umu Hirokonde Oruzo. I think more or less like other ones we have seen, but yeah, as a reminder, we have that Umu as more like in this case, and then Hirokonde Oruzo, and so it is rejoicing, and yeah, the usual Yorokobu as the verb to rejoice, the form, and then with Oru, and so the humble form of the verb Iru, to be as in to exist, but yeah, the form Teiru, continuing action or state. And so yeah, it is rejoicing. We went through it quickly since I think if we haven't seen that exactly, we have seen similar ones, so yeah. Toppling. Yeah, we got a worse size, but we might, yeah, no. Unfortunately, because of the worse size, we didn't get a better total this time. Yeah, we got the previous one. Yeah, no special, there's absolutely no way in this case. Okay, this one, I'm not sure we have seen it before. The writing in the middle here, so we'll check it. It says, Furatto Kiteru no ga omoshiroi. First and foremost, we have Furatto. So, of course, it's an onomatopoeia, as you might have guessed from the sound. And especially that to at the end, double consonant plus to at the end. The to usually is the quotation particle technically. To make it, to use it as an adverb, literally with a fura. As a reminder, the small tsu that also double stand the following to in this case, but yeah, it's when on its own it shortens further shortens the vowel before it. So with a fura. More than shortens the vowel, it's an abrupt stop, we could say, fura. And yeah, so it becomes also then the doubling of the consonant in this case. But yeah, we have this furatto, which means, but let's check also its accent. Okay, the accent is on the ra. So it makes sense for this kind as this kind of adverbs, onomatopoeias, as they are before the double consonant to usually, but before the to, and so of course not on the doubling of the consonant because it can't stay there, as it's about the accent stays on the syllable as a whole, and so on the ra, furatto, furatto. As for its meanings, it means aimlessly, by chance, accidentally, casually, suddenly, unexpectedly. Then we have kiteru. Kiteru technically is from the verb kuru, to come. It's unfortunately like suru, to do, that one unaccented kuru is accented. They're completely irregular, so you have to remember that to make its the form, it becomes kite. Usually accent on the te because the e of ki is barely heard, if at all, being between unvoiced consonants. The form required because then we had ru, actually a contraction of iru again, so yeah, continuing action or state. And yeah, kiteru, funny enough, also found as an expression in the dictionary. But yeah, the fundamental meaning is to have come, and so, by extension, to be here. By, well, more than extension, to have come, and so to be here. By extension, it also means to be popular, to be fashionable. Also, to be angry, to have blown one's lid. But yeah, these other extended uses, by the way, are a slang, according also to the dictionary. But yeah, they are. But yeah, in this case, I'd say literally, in its literal meaning, so to have come, and so to be here. Better to be here, maybe in translation. In this case, yeah. Then we have no, the nominalizer for verbs, and yeah, in this case, let's say, again, also in translation, we could say fact, the fact that it has come, it's here, and then of course we have those meaning, by chance, casually, aimlessly even, could be. Then we have the subject particle ga, and then last but not least the adjective omoshiroi, which means interesting, literally a compound from omo. We have seen it before, because we have seen it before, I think in this very series, this adjective. Omo, on the accent on the first syllable, means face, also surface by extension, also mask. And then shiroi, the adjective, which means white, and yeah, so literally face that is white, because it becomes white. Because technically they find something interesting, fascinating, intriguing, enthralling, by extension amusing, funny, but enjoyable, fun. The fundamental meaning is interesting technically. And so the fact that it has come, it is here, and then we have those the adverb casually, I'd say better in this case, or could be in the sense of sudden, even though it doesn't make sense in my opinion in this case. Maybe as in unexpectedly, as it isn't clear. But yeah, that fact is interesting according to Oak. Yeah, so we have seen this. We can continue. Yeah, we got. Yeah, of course, it isn't as good as the previous one with the two magmas and also the fire and so on. Okay, let's continue. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, I think it thinks that it's the one in the middle, so unfortunately we might get more points for the... yeah, and we got way more points for the Charmanders, the additional ones, but yeah, not enough because of the size, because of that. And yeah, we'll keep, of course, the older one. Yeah, better size, of course. Almost perfect. Yeah, the pose is still wonderful. It uses Subarashi, as we have heard in Professor Oak's checks. And we'll definitely hear, well, in this case, no, because we have a new one. I have a new photo for a Pokemon we already had.
Yes.
And yeah, so we get Yosh. And yeah, we, of course, better, so it automatically gets saved. And yeah, now we have the Growlithe. Yeah, not the best size. But yeah, we get a new writing, and that's why we chose this picture in particular. It says, "Oh, Hinokoja." But yeah, first and foremost, "Oh," the usual like English "oh" as an exclamation. And then we get this Hinoko. More than ashes, yeah, the term that couldn't think of before is sparks. And yeah, Hinoko that we get here means sparks. Literally, it is he, which we have already mentioned. I think we have even studied its kanji of fire. But yeah, he accented on its own fire. Then we have the possessive particle no. And then we have this ko, which in this case it's written with a different kanji than the one you might expect. We have seen it before, for example, in Kinoko, literally child of the tree, which is the name, Japanese name for mushroom. Tree's child. Yeah, this one is ko accented. More often you'll find it in its extended form, kona, accent on the last syllable, which means flour, as in the one used to cook, meal, and yeah, powder, dust, and yeah, in our case, of course, in the sense more of powder or dust. And yeah, so literally fire dust powder. And yeah, that you can see why it then that's a way to say sparks in Japanese. And yeah, then we have the copula. Ja, again, Ja in particular because it's the one used by all characters in fiction. And yeah, Ok is old. And then simply repeated, so for emphasis, but he literally says it twice. Yeah. So it's as in there are sparks. There are sparks. And yeah, so we get more points for that. Yeah, it was wise. And yeah, here we get a Subarashi, of course, because it's a new Pokemon. Yeah, it was wise to choose that one for the bonus points. Yeah, better size in this case. We get another writing. We can of course see again Hinoko, but there are additional parts. So yeah, it says O Hinoko dashite oruna. First and foremost, well, again O as the exclamation, Hinoko as already mentioned, the sparks. Then we have the object particle O, written as wo and pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. Then we have the verb dashite from dasu. We have seen it before. It means to take out, to get out, to put out, and other extended meanings. So yeah, the fundamental one, to take, put out. And yeah, it's a transitive form of the verb deru, which is to come out, to exit. We have seen it. That one even more, honestly. Well, technically, deru can be used. Yeah, usually is intransitive. And yeah, again, you can see the eru and asu. Again, most likely the su in dasu, and also considering the a, is actually an older form of the causative. So literally, to make come out, yeah, so to take out, to put out, to get out, and so on. It's a verb code verb, so we have to follow the rules like it's in su, so it literally becomes, in this case, the continuative form, change the u into i, da, si, and we add te, and so yeah, dashite. The form required because again we had oru, and so yeah, the oru, like the iru, continuative state or action. Continuative action usually more often, but also state. Last but not least, we have this na. Again, apart from its exclusive meanings often, especially as we have seen in this series, used as a substitute for ne or yo. In this case, I'd say maybe better. Well, it could be simply a yo, so like a hey, or you know, better hey in this case, or a ne, as in the sense of right. But yeah, the translation simply then becomes it's putting out, it's taking out sparks, so yeah, it's emitting, we could say better in English, it's emitting sparks, and yeah, then either hey or right or isn't it. Yeah, so we got more points. Again, was worth. Yeah, we got another Subarashi. We have this one. I have doubts it will be good. Yeah. From the very start, yeah, Oshino, regrettable. Yeah, we keep the older one. But it was... we saved it just for fun in the album. Okay, actually, technically better size, because technically in the older one we got part of the wings cut, even more so than in this one. But yeah, worse pose, of course, because it's not emitting the flames. The doubling, yeah, no. Still, the older one is clearly better. And yeah, we finally get to the Pokemon no Shirushi, so Pokemon sign. And we get, first and foremost, is O, which we got literally to here. And then Professor Oak says, Kore wa masashiku washi no sagashiteru Pokemon no Shirushi jana. First and foremost, we have Kore, the usual Kosoado series, Ko in this case, so goes to both the speaker and the listener. I imagine that in this case they're technically they're doing it close to each other. This check. Yeah. So again, far from the speaker goes to the listener, far from both, though the interpretive. Also an accented usually, though accent on the first syllable. With the re, again, it's the pronoun, the demonstrative pronoun, and so this without anything else. And then we have, of course, the topic particle wa, written as ha. And so as for this, then we get Masashiku from a adjective, Masashi, sorry. It's worth mentioning that actually the adjective on its own is not used nowadays. And yeah, I couldn't find it also in the dictionary. Only this adverbial form is used. So technically, from most likely pre-exist an e adjective that existed at the time, we drop the e and add ku to make the adverbial form, and so the corresponding adverb. The accent is on the third to last syllable, as expected for such forms. And yeah, its meaning is certainly, surely, undoubtedly, evidently, really, truly. If we were to write it in kanji, we would use the one, well, usually it's written with kana alone, but we would use the one for correct and so on. So yeah, that's why it's worth mentioning that we write it with kana alone, most likely also because it could be confused with another adjective, similar meanings. But that one is actually used also in its e adjective form. And yeah, of course, they don't want to confuse the two. So yeah, this one usually kana alone. in this case, of course, everything is in can, so doesn't change either way. But yeah, we have this adverb. Then we have washi, the usual I, the first person singular pronoun, the one used by old people. Again, oki is old. Contraction of watashi, the most formal one. Watashi, the most common one nowadays in Japanese. And yeah, then we get washi, all unaccented by, so easy to remember. And yeah, then we have the possessive particle no, and so actually, well, not the possessive particle, yeah. You can tell because after that, we don't get the expected noun, we get a verb. And after that verb, there's a noun. So yeah, this one is actually washi no sagashiteru. Well, actually also with the mosashiku, unless you apply it to the sentence in general. Yeah, washi no sagashiteru, the relative clause preceding and modifying Pokémon. Well, Pokémon no shirushi as usual. But yeah, so this no, again, we get another example of the no used as a substitute for the subject particle ga in relative clauses. And yeah, so that's its usage. And yeah, then we have the verb sagashiteru from sagasu, pretty sure unaccented, we have seen it also last time if I recall correctly. It means to search, again, all the, both as in to search for, also to search a house, to search through, but yeah, to search, the fundamental meaning. Unaccented, yes, correct. We changed the, it's a verb gotten verb, it's in su, so to make the form, we change it into the continuative form, si, change the u into i, and then simply add te, and then yeah, we have then iru, so the usual continuing action or state. Then after that we have Pokemon no shirushi, as already mentioned, Pokemon sign. And yeah, then, last but not least, the copula ja, and then na. And yeah, so the translation becomes, as for this, certainly, or however you prefer to translate that, masashiku, but yeah, surely, and so on, certainly is the Pokemon sign that I am searching. Yeah, so simple. Yeah, then you could translate the na as either hey, you know, or again, right, isn't it? Maybe better as a yo in this case. But yeah. Yeah, then we got this I'm not sure we have seen this before, so we have seen the parts separately at the very least, but yeah, we'll check it. It's well, it said first and foremost the subarashi that we got to here, and so again, wonderful. Then it says yu koto nashi jayo. We have seen this expression before. Literally, there is nothing to say. as in there nothing one can say, in the sense about something perfect, as in not a thing one can complain about. It's an expression technically that nash as is a classical form of the adjective nai. Of course, you, koto, literally verb to say, you, and then koto, thing as in matter. So that's why we have nothing. Literally, it is thing with non-exist thing that one implied can say, one says, is non-existent. So all those meanings I mentioned. So nothing one can say. It's as in this sense, it's actually perfect. Then of course the copula ja and then yo. Then after that we have this kono choshide gambatte kure. First and foremost we have kono, the demonstrative adjective, as we had kore before. Here we have the no, we had the no instead to make the adjective. After that we have a noun, choshi. And this is more why I'm not sure we have seen this before, because while the other parts we have seen for sure in other sentences most likely, we have this choshi which we haven't seen. We might have seen once, but not sure in this. We'll see it again. Technically, it's used also for tune, tone, key, pitch, time, rhythm. Better tune, the fundamental meaning. It's actually used also as in vein, mood, manner, and the meaning that interests us, which is condition. Also used condition, state of health, shape. Then we have the particle de. We could say the means, so with, that they could be technically the form of the copula. So being that way, being in that condition, in that shape, shape as in condition. Either way, then we have the verb gambatte kure, from gambatte, from gambaru. We have seen it before, and most likely you have encountered it if you have heard it in anime, video games also. Gambaru is that usual. We have seen it in, also in this very series, I think, but also previous ones. Gambaru means to persevere. Literally, it's a compound verb. Stubbornly, and so stubbornly stick, adhere, stick, persistent, stubbornly, persistently, and so to persevere, to persist, to keep at it, to hang on, to hold out, to do one's best. We've seen it before, especially in this series as to do one's best, say, like in this case. Then it's a verb, Golan verb, so we have to follow the rules to make that a form. It's in root, so it becomes double consonant te. With that, again, because most likely first the continuative form ri, then the ifel gambar te, difficult to pronounce, so it became simply a doubling of the consonant and the following te. Last but not least, we have this kure. Technically, from the verb kureru, one of the verbs of giving. I think we have seen it also unaccented. We have seen it before for sure, also in this very form. It's one of the verbs of giving, in particular, that someone else gives to the speaker, or someone close to the speaker. It isn't a verb to receive, which we have seen is morau. Yeah, in this case, someone else gives to the speaker or someone close to them. Of course, in this case, it's after the form of a verb, and so actually as in make the favor of doing the action of the verb. Kureru is a ru verb, it's done verb, so we can drop the ru to make technically the continuative form, but as you can see here, it's clearly used actually as a form of the imperative, and yeah, that's because kureru is an exception. It's particular in that sense. But yeah, so simply it's a form of the imperative. Make the favor of doing the action of the verb. And yeah, in the translation then becomes do your best with this shape, this condition. Better maybe in this case as the translation vein, as we said, mood, way. Yeah, I'd say maybe better like that in this case. Yeah, so I've translated also this, and yeah, as we see, we have just seen Hawk immediately accepts a sign if it can be presented as such without any issues. And we actually got another Jitsu Wana, so yeah, Hawk has something to tell us at the lab. And considering that, I'd say we can take the break now. And when we are back in around 5 minutes as usual, we'll see what Hawk has to tell us. And we are back. We can now continue. Yeah, of course, as usual, first and foremost, he says, "Yeah, okay, hello there, welcome back." Again, yeah, hello there, hey, hi. Yo, technically also. Yeah. And then, of course, more important, okairi, the shortened form, and also pretty common, of the greeting used when someone comes back home, usually, but yeah, in this case, of course, to the lab. Then we get this, which we've actually seen before, I'm pretty sure, because of other similar situations, but yeah, I'll quickly translate it again, at least. Well, I read it and then translate it without going word by word. Satsue wa umaku iteru yojana. As for the photographing, it seems, it appears that it's going well. And then, of course, isn't it right, with an at the end, and say more like an A in this case. Then we have Sokode. Literally, technically could be at there. We have Soko as this one I mention again, of course, because it's quite important. Again, from the Koso Ado series, with the ko it becomes the locative, and so here in our case there, Asoko is the exception over there for a, not ako, but Asoko, doko, where, but yeah, in our case there. Then we have this deck could be either technically also the locative particle at, in, the one used with most verbs. I'd say more better in this case, maybe the form of the copula being there. But yeah, it's simply used actually as an exclamation. As in that case, yeah, I used better than an exclamation, technically a conjunction, even though here we have exclamation mark after it. Usually would be used at the beginning, actually, of a sentence, I'd say. Literally being there, and so in that situation, and so so is one of its translation. Then, therefore, thereupon, yeah. And then it says motto hakadoru yoni. And yeah, to make, in order to make more good progress, we have this verb hakadoru, which we have seen before for this sentence, but yeah. And yeah, we get this we got that sentence because, again, Professor Rock, as we got to hear as a present for us, pur esento from English, of course. And yeah, the accent should be, as we also heard on the re. Yeah, it is so present, just like in English, pur esento. of course with the additional U for the poo, because they don't have P on its own, and the O for to, same reason, but we can't add the U because it would change actually the consonant tsu. We can't add E either, C, and yeah, so O instead. Yeah, Washikara no presento già. It's a present from me. We get this kara no compound particle. Kara is from, and no is the possessive particle is simply used to connect it to the following noun. Yeah, so it's a present from me. Then it says Pokemon no Satsue ni kitto yakudatsu so. And yeah, so it will. We can add the will in English. Technically, it's a present in Japanese, but the present can be used for such futures. It will surely be useful for photographing Pokemon. Better in Japanese, the photographing of Pokemon is the literal construction. This one I don't think we have seen exactly. So we'll translate it and also word by word. Pokemon no chotto kawatta pose mo mite mitai. Similar to what we got to hear for previous items, but yeah, not exactly, I think. So yeah, first and foremost we have Pokemon, of course, Pokemon. Then we have the possessive particle no to connect it to the following noun. Noun which technically would be pose, but it has a verb modifying it, a relative clause technically, even though there's literally only an adverb plus the verb before the noun. Adverb, which is chotto, a little, should be accented on the cho, as most of these adverbs again in small tsuto are. And so actually the syllable before the to makes sense because to is most certainly the quotation particle actually. So with a cho. But yeah, a little, a bit, slightly. And then we have the verb kawatta from kawaru. The intransitive form of the verb kaeru, which we have seen before, we have seen before also this kawaru. And so yeah, to change the fundamental meaning, also in the ones as in to replace and so on. But yeah, the fundamental one to change in the intransitive, so something changes. Then we change, it's a U verb, codant verb, so we can change the, to make theta form, we have to follow the rules, it's in ru again, so it becomes double consonant ta, just like double consonant te, which we have already seen. And so, literally, would be the past form of kawaru, so changed. It's worth mentioning that this for kawatta should be unaccented just like kawaru, even though it's not mentioned here in the dictionary. Is often used as kind of like an adjective, even though again it's literally it's a past form of the verb in attributive position. But it's used for the meanings unusual, abnormal, strange, odd, peculiar, weird, different. Literally would be changed. But yeah, as you can see why from change we can get these meanings unusual, and so also strange, peculiar, weird. And yeah, so these are the meanings that interest us in this case. And then we finally have the noun pose, from English, of course. We have seen it before for such in such a context, accented, luckily on the first syllable as expected. Then we have the inclusive particle mo, also even. Then we have the verb mite, from miru, to see, to look at, to watch. It's a ru verb, it's an verb, so we can drop the ru and add te to make the te form. And then we actually add another mitai. There's technically a mitai used after nouns in that case, which means like, sort of, similar to, resembling. Technically colloquial, by the way. But in this case it's actually from miru again. In this case we drop the ru to make the continuative form simply, to then add tai, which is this auxiliary adjective used to say that make the desiderated want to, would like to, desiderative form. Yeah, so but yeah, of course we also have the we have this miru after the te form, and so literally do the action of the verb and look at the result. And so yeah, again, te miru means try doing the action of the verb in the te form. And yeah, so the translation becomes you implied want to try and try seeing, also poses a little poses literally that are a little changed, but yeah, again the meanings actually then by extension, strange, unusual, and so on, of Pokemon. And yeah, so this is the translation, similar to what we have seen before, but slightly changed. Funny enough, since we have also this Kawatta. And yeah, we can continue. And yeah, we're getting this item. And yeah, we get the same structure, but of course we have to change the words, so we check it out again. Sonna toki ni wa kono Pokémon no fue o fuite miru ga ii. And yeah, first and foremost we have sonna, again from sonoyo na. Sonoyo that way, better in this case, that kind, that sort of na adjective, and we have the na in this case, and then it gets contracted into so na. So na, that kind of, that sort of. In this case, then we have the noun toki, which means time, accent on the last syllable. Time as in moment, occasion also. But also used simply, while we technically we have the structure a time, moment, occasion, in which and so before it a noun, a verb. But with verbs can also be translated simply as when. But in this case with so na, and so that kind of time, moment, occasion. Then we have the particle ni, in this case to mark a specific time. Makes sense, we have literally the word which means time, moment. Then we have the topic particle wa, and so as for at that kind of moment, that kind of time, that kind of occasion. Then we have kono, again this, the demonstrative adjective, and so the following noun, which is our name, the name of our item, Pokémon no Fue, again Pokémon, the possessive particle no, and then we have Fue, which we have seen before, not in this series, but for sure in the Super Mario Advance 4, since it's an item there. Fue, unaccented, means fruit. All the other flute, pipe, recorder. Fundamental meaning fruit. So it's the Poke Flute, as we can see also on the top right with the image. Then we have the object particle o. Then we have the verb fuite, from fuku, which means to blow, of the wind, usually in that case. Actually accented, so fuku. Also used to blow one's breath. So actually, technically, we have can be used either as an intransitive verb, to blow off the wind. The wind blow. Technically, it's the wind blows. Kaze ga fuku. By the way, kaze means wind. It's the Japanese word for, strictly Japanese word for wind. Kaze, unaccented. And so kaze ga fuku, with the subject particle ga in the middle, of course. The wind blows. To blow one's breath, and also to blow on tea, candles, and so on. So actually a transitive usage. And by extension from that, also the one which we have here, to play a wind instrument. To blow a whistle, trumpet, in our case, a flute. To blow, also in the sense to blow a whistle, a trumpet, and so on. Fuku is a verb, Godan verb, so to make that a form, we have to follow the rules. It's in ku, so it becomes ite, again continuity form ki. Then we had the te, but the k fell, and so only the i stayed, fuite. and yet a form required because then we had again miru, so try blowing, and then after that we have ga, technically the subject particle. As you can see, well, technically we would have had to add a nominalizer, most likely no in this case, but sometimes, as you can see also in this case here, it might be omitted, but yeah, the meaning is the same. We use literally the verb, technically it's nominalized. Then we have the subject particle ga, and last but not least we have the adjective I, which means good. It's the one again which also has the alternative form yoi, used nowadays mostly for further conjugation. I can't be further conjugated, but it's the most common form for the base form of the adjective. And yeah, that's where yosh comes from. Exclamation we have heard also this time. It's the classical form of the verb yoi, and so yosh. Yeah. Again, as in good, as in okay, alright. But yeah, in this case, simply good. And yeah, so the translation is as for at that kind of moment, that kind of occasion, blowing, well, better, actually we have to say trying to blow this Pokemon flute, this Poké flute, is good. And so yeah, used as in a way to say you should and yeah, so we can continue. And of course then we get the usual start, and then of course the new part. The start is the usual tsukai kata wa kantan. As for the way of using, implied it's easy. I've seen it for all the previous items that tsukai kata wa kantan. And then we get the new part, which is shi unito no. Then we get, of course, the icon itself. The down, we could say in English. So down simply in English. Down de, or shita in Japanese. Technically, we could also use maybe better. De dare demo fukeru you ni shite oita zo. And yeah, it says, first and foremost, we have shi, literally the si from English, pronounced of course in Japanese as shi, because that's the sa, shi, sucesso. The accent should be simply on the first syllable like in English, but I'll quickly check. Yes, it is. And by the way, of course, can also be used she also for with this longer vowel, that's worth mentioning, also for si, as the the C from English. But yeah, then we have this unit. And so actually from English, unit, accented luckily on the first syllable as expected. And so literally we have this C unit. I guess it means by that the C buttons as a complex. Then we have the possessive particle no. Then we have the symbol. Again, better mostly maybe as shita, down in Japanese. Yeah, we'll go for that. If not that, down, the English word. Yeah, let's go for shita. Unaccented, by the way. While down should be accented, hopefully. We'll check quickly. Yeah, accented. Then we have the particle de. In this case, definitely that means so with that button, the down button, the down C button. Then we have dare demo, which comes from dare, the interrogative, which means who. And then we had demo. We have seen it as a conjugation, which means but, however, and so at the start usually of a sentence. But in this case it's used as a particle, which means even. In both cases most likely from the form of the copula, and then mo, the inclusive particle, also even. And yeah, demo also means even. But when added to the two interrogative words like dare in our case, we get the corresponding every word. So in our case, well, technically the corresponding ever word, so whoever, but also the by extension everyone, everybody. Technically also anyone, anybody, even though there's technically a better word for it, which by the way I'll mention it. It's simply dare plus mo, so the inclusive particle on its own. That one is the one usually used for everyone, anyone, and also even more often in the negative, so not anyone, and so nobody, no one. By the way, actually unaccented both. Daremo for sure, according to the dictionary. I check in the physical one for dare demo if I can find it. We've actually seen it before with another demo word, which was also unaccented. But I'll quickly check. Dare. Okay, demo. Nope. Can't find it here. But I found, by the way, daremo also unaccented the first pronunciation, but there's also an option which is accent on the first syllable. Maybe to keep the accent of dare, but yeah, technically unaccented the first one, so that should be the one you should keep in mind. I bet that in the dictionary it will keep it, yeah, as we said, daremo unaccented. But yeah, so anyone, everybody, even better, whoever would be the closest one. Then we have the verb fukeru. Simply from fuku again to blow. It's a verb codon verb, so we can change the u into e and add ru to make the potential form, and so can blow. After that, we then get yo. In this specific case, yo ni, with this additional ni. And then the verb suru. Here in it's the form shite, because it's completely irregular, suru. But yeah, this yoni plus shite is, instead of being simply the usual form, style, way, method, also like, and so on, it means so that, in order that, so as to, in order to. And yeah, with that shite, so make it so that, so as to. And yeah, then we have shite, the form of the verb suru, to then add oita from the verb oku, to put, to place. But when used after an accented, by the way, when used after the form of a verb, it gets the meanings, well, first and foremost, technically, by extension, to leave something in a certain state, to keep something in a certain state, again from to put, to place, and also because of that, also to do something in advance, and that's actually the most common usage of the te oku form. Like in our case, like here we have seen it before that Ok said it. Oku is a u verb, codon verb, so to make the ta form, like here we have to follow the rules. It's in ku again, so it becomes ita. Last but not least, we have the final sentence particle, zo, again. Male term or language adds force, I'd say simply also emphasis, as in emphasis. And yes, so the translation becomes I made it in advance, so or also I'd say for future usage, for future usefulness, in the sense in advance. I made it so that whoever, and so anyone, can blow it, implied, the Pokéflute, with the down button of the C unit. And yeah, so translated that. And yeah, we get also this. Mata fuiteru tochuni. Then again, the button, the icon of the button will say shita. Mata fuiteru tochuni shita de chigau kyoku o tanoshimeru zo. We stop here. We have a period at the end. Again, notice that it's a circle in Japanese. First and foremost, we have mata, which means again, once more, once again. used in greetings, but in this case it's better the translation as also, as well, or even better in addition, as and moreover, furthermore. But yeah, all from that fundamental translation of again. Mata, by the way, unaccented. Then we get a Japanese comma, as you can see it like that. Then we have fuiteru, from the verb fuku, again to blow, that a form fuite, like the and then ru, again the abbreviation of iru, and so to be blowing. After that, we technically have what is a noun, so again should be a relative clause, a verb in attributive position. Noun, which is tochu. We check its accent, but its meaning is in the middle of. Also used as on the way, en route. That, of course, with literal with a movement, an actual movement, as an actual place, and so on the way, en route, usually to a place. In this case, in the middle of doing an action. Technically midway, halfway. But yeah, in the middle of blowing. Of being blowing, literally in Japanese, it again implied. Then we have, of course, the particle ni, again at a specific moment, for a temporal particle. And so yeah, in the middle of the in the middle of. Then we have again the symbol of the button, and so that means with that button. Then we have the verb chigau. We have seen it before, not sure if in this very series. It means to differ, unaccented, by the way. So technically also to be different, to be distinct, even though it's a verb, so yeah, better to differ as a translation, closer to the Japanese. By extension, it becomes if something differs. It can differ in the sense that it's wrong, it's incorrect, mistaken. But yeah, in our case, literally, to differ, as in different, better, of course, when we translate in this case. And yeah, after that we have yet another noun, so again, relative clause, noun which is kyoku. Kyoku, there are technically more than one. Unsurprising, since it's actually a Chinese reading of the character. But yeah, kyoku, unaccented, means composition, piece of music, song, track, so also tune, melody, air. But yeah, the fundamental meaning is song, as in piece of music, track, a composition. Then we have the object, so a different again, composition, piece of music, song, a different song will say convenience. Then we have the object particle o, and then we have the verb tanoshimeru. Actually, from tanoshimu. We have seen it before because of its other usages, but yeah, in this case it's literally the one used for the verb itself, which is to enjoy. Tanoshimu. Well, actually, tanoshimu on the shi, the accent, it's accented, tanoshimu. To enjoy. It's a verb, godan verb, so we can change the U into E and add the RU to make the potential form. And so, can enjoy. Last but not least, again, so as the final sentence particle. And so, we can translate it as in addition, furthermore, you can enjoy different songs with the down C button in the middle of blowing it, literally in the middle of blowing it. So yeah, when you are already blowing the flute, you can press the button again to change the song when you're playing the flute. And yeah, then we have the final part of this. Iroiro tameshite mirunja. First and foremost, we have iroiro. We have seen it before. It's technically an adjective. Can also be used as an adverb. In that sense, usually with the top particle. Okay, technically the quotation particle used also for some adverbs. Iroiro should be unaccented. Comes actually from iro, on accent on the last syllable on its own. And in that case it means color. And yeah, by doubling it, technically of color, and so of different colors. And yeah, so by extension, its meaning of iroiro becomes various, a variety of, all sorts of, many different. And yeah, so because of that, but yeah, nothing to do with colors, but in general, various. In this case, in our case, even though we don't have the to, I'd say it's used as an adverb, and so variously, in various ways, in many ways. And yeah, because then we have immediately a verb, tameshite, which means to try out, to have a try at. Better to not confuse it with the temiru form, I'd say to test. Tamesu, by the way, accented. To test is also useful to remember when we study its kanji, as we'll see, but we'll see it when the time comes, or when we see the corresponding word I'm thinking of. But yeah, to test, to try out. It's a verb called a verb. We have to follow the rules. It's in sus, so it becomes ste. Tameste. Again, the form required to then add miru, and so that's why not only because of that, it's better to not confuse it. It's better to not keep to consider its fundamental meaning to test, but also because we can have such a usage. Try testing better. Also in English, literally test and see the result again. The Temiru form. Last but not least, we have nza again from the structure noda, the nominalizer for verbs no, the copula. Noda again, it is that. The fact is that, the explanation is that, and so on. Here contracted the no into n, as often we see can be the case, especially in this. Well, we have already seen it in this expression. And yeah, ja, of course, as the copula because Ok is speaking. And yeah, so the translation of this last part is. Try testing it, implied the fruit, in various ways, in many ways. Well, of course, we would also have at first. It is that, as in, but in this case, as in you should. You should try testing it in various ways. And yeah, we can continue. And yeah, last but not least, we get the usual trick question in the sense that he says again, I wonder if you want to hear once more the speech of now, literally. And yeah, again, we have the A button to say yes, and the B button to say it's enough. And yeah, we want to say it's enough. Okay, we have some time left. Okay, we'll actually, I'd say we can actually, instead of playing another course, even though we could do that, I want to get this out of the way so that, well, most likely this will take us the rest of the episode. We have never checked the Pokémon Album, so we'll do that. Also so that we can actually see that we have seen that the Pokémon report is as Squirtle. The Pokémon Album as Charmander. And so we can finally also hear its the song, which is a really nice one, by the way. But yeah, of course, first and foremost, in our case, to see the writings. In the middle, of course, we have Pokémon Album, and also in katakana with the dot in the middle. Again, kind of like a space in, or better, you could consider it kind of like an hyphen. Yeah. Uniting those two words while keeping still them separate. Yeah, Pokemon again. Arubamu, as a reminder, unaccented. It's one of those words from English that are unaccented, unlike, of course, in English, so be careful. In the balloon, Charmander's balloon, it says first above ima, ju mai, ima was also in Ox dialogue at the end, means now, accent on the first syllable. And then of course we have ju mai, the 10 plus mai, so the numeral plus counter combination. We'll quickly check it again, but yeah, for mai, I'm pretty sure we have seen that they're all accented before the mai, except for go for the 5, which is unaccented, the typical exception for those. Quickly check it anyway. Of course, mai, the counter for thin, flat things, and so yeah, like sheets of paper and also photos. It's of Chinese origin, and so we use Chinese numerals, ju in our case, of course, 10. Quickly find it. It's here. Okay. Yeah, and yeah, as expected, ju is accented, so on the ju on the first syllable. After that, we get ato. Ato, we have seen it before, should be accent on the first syllable, and it is. Often, usually it means, behind, rear, but even better, the most common translation is after, later. In our case, it's remainder, the rest can also be used as more, as in 5 more minutes left. But yeah, in our case, as in the remaining number of photos is, in our case, goju mai. So again, in this case, it would be most likely accented just like ju, so on the ju, on goju mai. But on its own, I think we have seen it before, but I'll quickly check it. The accent of goju on its own. Should quickly find it relatively. Okay, found it. And yeah, luckily also on its own is on the ju. It's not one of those that goes before it. Like, for example, 20 is ni-ju on its own, accent on the ni on the first syllable. But yeah, go-ju is one of those on the ju. On the left, we see, well, at the bottom, the typical option, which we choose later, kenkyujo e. And so yeah, to the lab, literally again, kenkyujo means research place. From kenkyu, research, and jo from sho, which is the Chinese reading of the kanji, which has the strictly Japanese reading tokoro, again, place, spot, and so on, which we have found so many times throughout this very series. Yeah. And then, of course, the particle e written as he, and so towards the lab, the research place, literally again. At the top, which is the option we choose now, we have hiraku, which is a verb, which means to open. As we'll see, it's only one of the verbs which means to open. This one is peculiar because can be used both as an intransitive or a transitive verb, unlike the corresponding ones, which are aku. By the way, hiraku accented. Aku, which is the intransitive one for to open, should be unaccented, I think. We check. Yes, unaccented. That one is used, for example, for doors. Akeru should also be unaccented. We have again a u-eru combination. Akeru is the transitive one. To open a door, aku, a door opens. And yeah, also unaccented. And yeah, it's the distinction is the way in which something opens. Aku and akeru can be used for doors, for example. Akeru to unwrap, to open, literally, but yeah, as in unwrapping a parcel, a package. While hiraku as it says also here, to unseal, to unpack. I actually found it some time ago. I'll quickly search for it again. A page that described this distinction. To tell you exactly. But yeah, it's technically sorry, we're getting the issues. But yeah, it's simply a different way of opening something that opens more like a door. Uses aku or akeru. Something like an album. So more like something that spreads open, hiraku. But yeah, I'll search it again and I'll keep it saved this time. So, but now that I close that, we can finally go back. Okay, perfect. Sorry if the audio wasn't the best, but again, our technical limitations. Yeah, while I was searching. But yeah, we chose that. Again, at the top, still Pokémon Album. Pokémon Album. On the left, we have all the options, which are from the top to the bottom. Miru, again the verb to look at, to see, to watch. Then we have Irekae. I think we have not sure if we have well, we have seen it elsewhere, I think. But yeah, Irekae, it's a noun which comes from a verb, a compound verb. Irekaeru, from ireru, which means to put in, to insert, and so on. unaccented, just like iru, even though nowadays apart from certain expressions we use instead of iru to enter, we use hairu, which actually is accented and on the first syllable, so be careful, because then in that case hai is considered a diphthong, I. So that's why it's accented on the first syllable, and so third to last, and like second to last as usual. But yeah, here we have ireru, so the transitive form to put in. Ru verb is then verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. In this case, required to add then the second verb, part of the compound, which is kaeru, to change again unaccented. This one in particular, the one with the kanji, which means to replace. And so yeah, the meaning of ire kaeru, by the way, actually accented, ire kaeru, actually on the e, the second to last, ire kaeru. To replace, to change, as in literally you are putting something in to replace something else, and that's why we have this compound verb. Kaeru, or also ire kaeru, accented the compound again, so be careful, unlike kaeru on its own. But either way, the ru verb is then verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form, and so in this case actually the corresponding noun, ire kae, actually unaccented, so be careful despite the verb being accented. But yes, so the corresponding noun, and so replacement, substitution, change. And yes, so simply replacement, to replace the photo. Then we have the verb kesu, to delete, to erase, also to and so on. Also used to turn off a light or the TV and so on, by extension. But yeah, the kesu unaccented, fundamental meaning to erase, to delete. Yeah, so that. Last but not least, we have hyoshie. We have seen it, of course, for the Pokemon report. E at the end is again the directional particle towards. The hyoshi, which is a compound, a Chinese compound. Accent on the last syllable is an exception, so be careful. Means cover of a book, magazine, and so on. In our case, the Pokémon Album. Again, because it's technically from surface, the first kanji, the second one is paper, and so surface of the paper, as in books and so on, the cover. But yeah, we'll try to choose quickly one of the options. Yeah, by choosing Miru and then choosing a photo, we get these options. First and foremost, we have at the top Kuwashiku from Kuwashi, the adjective, which means detailed, accented, by the way. And so yeah, by drop, it's the adjective, so we can drop the e and add ku to make the corresponding the adverbial form and the corresponding adverb. So in detail. Under it we have commento. So yeah, from English, comment. We check its accent. Okay, it's unaccented, so be careful, it's one of the exceptions. Commento. Then we have again kesu, to erase, to delete. And last but not least, we have Odoru, to return, to go back, accented. And yeah, we'll choose Kuwashiku. And yeah, with Kuwashiku in detail, we simply see the usual information which we have seen in the camera check, the course, the cameraman, and the main role, so actually the Pokemon. And yeah, it doesn't change, but you can't go between those. With Commento, you can actually write a comment to the photo, give it a title of your own. And yeah, with Kesu, of course, we can delete one. Yeah, I don't want to delete one. Yeah. Well, good thing we have actually two of Pikachu. So we'll go for this one to show, of course, the picture and potentially what to show the writing when you want to delete one. It says first and foremost, kono shashin o keshite ii desu ka? First and foremost, we have kono, again, this, the demonstrative adjective, and then the following noun, which is shashin, the usual word for photo, unaccented, it's a Chinese compound, luckily regular. Then we have the object particle o, keshite, from kesu, to delete, again, it's the u verb, codon verb, so we can change the u, we have to follow the rules. Being in su, it actually becomes the continuative form, changing the u into i, and that form. In this case, it's actually abbreviated because we then have the i, and it would actually usually be keshite mo, so also the inclusive particle, and then i, desu ka, because we are in the polite speech in this case. But yeah, the structure would be shitemo i, because literally it would mean even if you do the action of the verb, and so even if you delete this picture, is it okay? And so yeah, actually the temo i form of a verb is used to request permission to do the action of the verb. May I? But yeah, literally, even if I do that action, it's good? Is it good? When one grants permission, we simply can see keshitemo i des without the ka at the end to make it a question. And so yeah, even if you cancel it, if you do the action, it's good, it's okay. And yeah, as I already mentioned, we have then des. In this case, technically the copula in the polite speech used with i adjectives simply to show that we are in polite speech, even though, as we have seen on their own, i adjectives don't need the copula. It's worth mentioning, as we'll see, because we still keep des when we conjugate the adjective itself, but we'll see it again when the time comes. Last but not least, as already mentioned, we have the interrogative particle ka to make it a question, even though in this case we also have the question mark. Yeah, by pressing pressing the button A, we have hi, so yes, the most common way to say, the most fundamental way to say yes. With B, we have ie, technical accent on the last syllable, even though it can't be heard usually, because we usually don't add anything after it. But yeah, ie is the fundamental way to say no. So yeah, I press B, but now I'll actually try to press A and C and say yes to see if something shows up. Nope, no writing, simply that animation. But yeah, okay. We quickly go through the other options. Yeah, Irekae, we simply move them around here. Actually, quickly do it since we deleted the picture, the first picture. And yeah, then we get again, yeah, we have Kesuwe. We've already seen it. We can go back to the cover. And yeah, we don't have more options technically. Yeah, of course the numbers have changed. By pressing B, also choosing that option, you can go back to the lab. And yeah, so perfect. We can now save. And yeah, I choose to leave. So yeah, that we can actually end the game here. Quickly also save it here just to be sure. Can close. And yes, so today we've actually not played any courses. We went through the camera check, Professor Ock's check for the replay of the third course last time. After that, we got our usual Jitsuwana because Ock actually had an item for us, the Poke Flute. After that, we finally checked out the album and the writing is there. And yes, so next time, which should be on Monday, unless plans change, we'll continue Pokémon Snap. Well, first and foremost, since we've saved and we are back to the title screen, we'll check more of the gallery. We have, as we have seen, several writings there. But after that, we'll continue replaying the courses to find the remaining Pokemon signs, also potentially more Pokemon, and additional photos for certain Pokemons and so on. And by the way, we replayed the third course first and foremost because it's the only one where the flute isn't required for the Pokemon signs and or certain new Pokemon, while in the other ones, or certain new poses, while in the other ones it is. But yeah, so we do that on Monday. But of course, on Sunday we also have the Mostly Just for Fun stream, unless plans change, of course. And it should be, again, we take part in the Kirby Riders test. We check out the offline modes in the first hour when the online ones aren't available. In the second one, the online ones, if someone wants to play and the room actually works, maybe it actually does, we might even play together. But yeah, so those are our plans. Okay, see you next time.